open URL, how to implement this open URL, and also in our start driver functions, like here invoke drivers. So we have got these functions, start Chrome driver, which will start the Chrome driver, isn't it? Now the point is, these functions, this function now here, it needs the path of the driver, right, to start. So here we are calling web drivers Chrome constructor, Chrome class constructor, right, to which we are sending one executable underscore path equal to, and here it should have the path where we have stored our Chrome driver exe. Okay, so now this path, we don't want to provide a hard-coded path here. We want to store this paths somewhere else instead of mentioning the paths here hard-coded in the code. As we have already discussed that the philosophy of the framework says that we should not do hard codings. Okay, so hard coding should be as less as possible. So we don't want to hard code the path. So what is the idea here is that we will create one file, ENVVars. So I'm just storing this file here, right? And in this we will create these variables, Chrome driver path, comma, and then we will provide the path of the Chrome driver exe from our machine. So let me see where I have my Chrome driver stored. So I'll just go here, and in our batch folder, so here I'll just go to copy path. I'll just look into it because I usually keep the things in the batch folder itself. So I'm just looking out for Chrome driver. So it is the drivers. So I have got my drivers here. So I'll just copy this and I'll put it here. Even my this Chrome driver also will be here, right? So I have one file, envvars.txt, which has Chrome driver path, comma, the path of my Chrome driver exe, Firefox driver path, comma, a path of my Gecko driver exe, right? Now what we will do is, in our framework, we will create one more Python file called utilities. Means these are the functions which we are now going to write here. These functions are utility functions in the sense that we don't, like, these are all Python functions and not Selenium functions. Now let's understand the difference. The functions which we write where we are using the Selenium APIs, right, like driver, element, these API classes we are using, those are the APIs written using Selenium. But I am here talking about this particular file is going to contain such APIs which doesn't have the usage of Selenium API classes at all for its implementation. They are more of going to be a Python based functions, right? So here we will write, I have already created such. So here we will create one such function. Right, I'll create one class here, class utils, and this class I have defined one method called InitialiseEnvVars, is a name of a function. Okay, InitializeEnvVars. Now this particular function is a class method. Now what is class method? It's like a static method in Java. So static method is a method which you can call with the reference of class. You don't need an object to be created. So in Python, if you define a method to be a class method, and how to define that? You have to mention this decorator @class method. So if you define the method with this decorator, it becomes a class method. Means you can call it without creating an object of it. Okay. Now here what we will do is simply, I'm not going to use a CSV file as of now. I have just created a TXT file, right? I have not created a CSV. CSV we will talk about in our other section of the framework, the implementation of it. Here let's keep it very simple. Let's not use CSV here. Okay. So here what we will do is we will define the path of this, copy path. So I'm simply copying this path, and I'll explain you what this width is. Just a minute. And I'm just removing this CSV. It's a simple TXT file, okay, with open as, and I'm saying txt. It's a variable. Now what is this width in Python? So it is mostly used when you are doing the file operations. So this open function, what it does, it opens the file in a particular mode. By default it opens the file in read mode, okay, unless and until it is specified, like some other mode like write and append is specified. This open function opens the file in a read mode, and it stores the file handle in this variable txt_file in our case. Now what we will do is I'm just going to delete this thing because I want to keep it very simple, right? So this I have got, and now what we will do here is we are going to read this file line by line. Okay, we are going to read this file line by line, right? So read line. So read line will read the file line by line. So it will read the first line. When I am calling this read line for the first time, it will obviously read the first line, which we will store here, line. So what it will read in this file, if you see, it will read this whole line, right? But what we are interested in storing, these paths actually, and not these. These are just for the reader's sake. Like who will read this file, he should understand, he or she should understand what is stored here. So Chrome driver path. So this is Chrome driver path. This is Firefox driver path. So this is just for the sake of the reader to understand what kind of information is stored here in this line 1. What kind of information is stored here in the line 2, right? So the thing which we are interested in storing is this. Then what the use of this we will do? So this, what we will do now is we will read this file line by line. Once we will get the line, we will split that line with this comma. This is a splitter for us. We will split it, we will slice it. Once we will slice, we will get two sections, this section and this section, out of which this we will make use of this as a key in a dictionary, and this we will make use of this as a value in that dictionary, right? That way. Now let's do that. So here ImplementingInitialiseEnvVars. So we will define one dictionary. I'm just copying this code from here because I don't want to waste unnecessary time, unnecessarily I mean writing each and everything. So this is a dictionary. At class level I am defining. So if you are defining the variable without self, right, so it becomes a class level variable which you can access again without the object of a class, right? So here this is a dictionary, this is a blank one. Now what I'm doing here is I'm first splitting. There is a function called split. So you can mention what is your splitter, at what character you want the string to be sliced at, right? So comma, at comma we want this particular string to be sliced at. Once it will be sliced at this point, we will get these two sections, 1 and 2, this one and this one, right? So which we will store here. Where is our file? Yeah, here I'll just say line parts. So we will get a list actually. We will get a list in this. This is the list actually. In this list of at a 0th index, you can see this split returns list of strings, right? So we'll get list of strings here. At the 0th index, we will get the string which is this. This string we will get at list of 0 and this string we will get at list of 1, right? And then what we will simply do is, now we have got the list, so we will say key name, just to simplify it more, line parts of 0 and value line parts of 1. And then what we will do, we will simply say env